Big Blue Nation. What's going on, family? Another day. Giants take the L 30-7 at home against Tampa. The showing weren't good. Effort, no matter what they say, don't look good. You're hoping Daboll hasn't lost a locker. It looks like he has. He did his presser today, and he's pretty much staying positive and trying to spin it one way. But outside looking in, it does look like you've lost the locker room, bro. But outside of that, that Tommy DeVito spark you thought you were gonna get didn't happen. To be honest, think about it. He went on that 3-game winning streak last year. He comes back second half of those 3 games and can't get a dub. Eventually gets benched for Tyrod Taylor. You kind of look forward to this season, seeing if he's got any improvement after the whole DJ thing. And he looks like the same quarterback he was last year, holding on to the ball, taking sacks. I know the O-line, especially up the middle, JMS. Oof. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I'm out on Joe Schoen. And by proxy with Joe Schoen, that means also Brian Daboll. Dave's I like. I just don't think he has enough to be our head coach. Maybe somewhere else it could be more successful. Not with these Giants. And not being paired with your boy, Joe Schoen. When you really think about it, Schoen has not really done any better than your boy DG, Dave Gettleman. He had a chance to move off of Daniel Jones. Decided, let me give him a chance. Didn't pick up the 5th-year option, which I didn't mind that much, even though it would have helped with the salary, picking it up. But whatever. You didn't commit, so it means he had to come in super focused, which he did. But beyond that, 22 happens. He makes the playoffs. But he makes the playoffs with throwing about, 3,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. I think it was 6 interceptions. And it was cool. It brought life to the Giants fan base that had been suffering. And here we are. What do we do after that season? Got to run it back, right? Do we? We all think about that Minnesota game and how he just looked awesome. Even though everyone knew that Minnesota defense was trash, he still balled out. And we definitely had to give him a credit for that. But what happened that next week in Philly? I mean, I know there was a whole lot of other stuff going on, but did he rise above Philly, our arch nemesis, our division rival, our most hated rival? Was he able to do anything against Philly? To me, that'd have been our out. It's like, you know what? Thank you for your service. Or, hey, you want to come back? $10 million, come back. Would have been offensive? Probably. As we stand right now, is he worth $10 million as a quarterback? Not just for the Giants, for anyone right now. Is anyone giving them anything over the veteran minimum? Would you give him more than Drew Lock? Another issue, Drew Lock. We spent $5 million on his backup quarterback to not play. You literally want him as your backup quarterback, your number 2. One about Daniel Jones is like, no matter what happens in the situation, you're our number 2. We're paying you $5 million, which we could have probably used to, maybe get a D-tackle, or maybe bring back Alshon Robinson, who happened to help Carolina win that game against us in Germany. When you look at Schoen and his track record, he literally has left us bare. You thought DG did us bad, right? But when he left us with 11 draft picks. 2 first-rounders for Schoen. What's come out of those first 2 drafts? I know he's talking about this draft, this 2024 draft is cool, blah, 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 very positive and this and that. I thought people would get, or I thought draft class aren't rated until maybe their third year in the league. But you're crowning this draft class? And that's the only thing you have to? Like, what else are you hanging your hat on? You said you were trying to rebuild, but you give Daniel Jones $40 million. You give Brian Burns like $150 million contract, whatever it was, but you're trying to rebuild while winning? Like, yeah, you said it yourself. Maybe I was a little jaded, maybe, I overthought the process and we won that playoff game, blah, blah, blah. We're closer than we think. And you're still talking about before or whatever it was after the Carolina. We're close. We're really close. Dude, 30-7 against Tampa and you're close. DJ was the problem and you're close. Tommy comes out and it's 30-7. We got our star, quote unquote, star wide receiver pointing fingers at his head coach, who asked him, yo, if you don't get the ball, you gonna be all right? He's like, I ain't gonna take it well. Hey, you set yourself up for that. But beyond that, beyond the QB thing, the contracts, dude, this is your third year. You're trying to make it to a fourth year. This is Shane I'm talking about. You're trying to make it to the fourth year, and your roster is not built up with any depth. Your first draft, you have freaking Josh Azuda, who you drafted as a guard, trying to play him as a swing tackle, never play him at guard. Dane Belton, Darian Beavers, who else? I mean, besides Evan Neal and all, it's like, most of that draft class is already gone. And this is basically year 3. So, what are you doing? Main reason I'm out on Joe Schoen is because even outside, okay, you might have messed up, or you say, oh, well, maybe I wouldn't have changed anything with my quarterback room, blah, blah, blah. You a damn lie. You a damn lie. And if you going to sell that to the fan base and you think you're going to come back or we're going to accept you back, nah, bruh. No. Hell no. You think Tommy DeVito, Drew Lock, and then Daniel Jones is real good QB quarterback room to take you to the next level, playoffs, blah, blah, blah. You thought that. You said it. Bruh. You lying. And then, on top of that, you set up your boy Daboll. Daboll is trying to cook with stale ingredients. So what are you getting on the field? Stale results. Trash results. I feel bad for the dude, but then again, hey, y'all tied at the hip. Y'all say y'all talk all the time, y'all this and that, blah, blah, blah. So you complicit too. At this point, we even if we get the number 1 pick, top 2, top 3, I'm out on Joe Schoen. What has he done that's gonna instill faith and positivity that you're gonna get this right, or that you guys are gonna develop right? Who would you say that Brian Daboll has really developed? I mean, you can go back to, even if you want to say Daniel Jones, that year that Daniel Jones got his $40 million contract. Who was the OC? It was Kafka. Brings me to another point. If we lose and lose bad to Dallas on Thanksgiving in a couple days, you think it's worth bringing Daboll back, especially with the locker room ready to explode as it is? Don't want that to happen to the man, but quiet as it's kept, what's the point of keeping you around? Go ahead and blow this up. Shane, you gotta go. Daboll, you going too. At the very least, Giants Nation, John Mara, Steve Tisch, you owe it to yourselves and the Giants fan base. All right, for about the next 5 games, let's see what Brandon Brown does as your assistant GM. Elevate him to temporary GM. See what happens with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. See what Mike Kafka could do as a head coach. See if he can inspire them. See if he could maybe be somebody we look to the future. I mean, the offense did look better under his calling, depending on how much he called and how much Daboll sidetracked him. But at the end of the day, Shane, Joe Schoen, you not the one. And Shane we trust? Nah, bro. Only in God, bro. As far as Daboll, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, you gotta go too, man. You're the QB whisperer, but if you think about it, you made your name off of Josh Allen, who was supremely talented, just needed some honing in. I'll give you that. But I mean, outside of Josh Allen, what have you done? You was back with the Cleveland Browns when I forgot who the trio of QBs you had. None of them did nothing. Like, you are quote unquote the QB whisperer. What have you done with Tommy DeVito? Even when he was even when he was winning last year, or when they won on that 3-game winning streak, would you say Tommy DeVito is the biggest reason why y'all won? Or was it Wink's defense? Turnovers, pressure. We can't even get a pressure now. I mean, we can get pressures, we just can't get sacks. So it's just sad. It's sad state. Giants hate that we'd have to go through a rebuild, but why trust this man Joe Schoen to mess up another draft? Mess up. I mean, he's just so full of himself that you can't even really trust that he's going to do things right and own up to it. It'd be different if maybe he owned up to it a little bit more than he did, saying, you know, yeah, it falls on me, but then he pretty much puts it on Daboll. Oh, you know, maybe the play calling this and that. I was like, oh, okay. I see there's a little dissension there. But regardless, man, you came in with your boy. You got the axe fall with you, man. So, end of the day, that's just my little take on it. Ain't no way in the hell we can go into 2025-26 with Shane as our GM and by proxy, Daboll. Sorry, dude. We need better. I don't even know where to look for. I'd rather have a experienced GM, experienced head coach. I don't know. Vrabel might sound good. I don't know for G. I can't even put no names out there. I'm not that type of person. But I can tell you who ain't. Shane ain't it. Daboll ain't it. Anyways, Big Blue Steph coming at you. Thanks for checking me out. Keep the sanity for these next 6 games. Big Blue Steph, I'm out.